All right. Welcome to Cookbook Camp, guys. Today's December 11th. We're going to get started. Today's camp is going to be how to quickly make a cookbook followed by an open Q&A. All right, let's get started. So if you don't have this guide, I will pop it in the chat. I will also send it in the replay email. I love working with this getting started guide. It gives you a place to jot down all your thoughts, ideas, and plan your project quickly. I love starting with your why. 2 reasons: it keeps you motivated, it keeps you working quickly, but it also makes for a really good indication. So taking a minute to say, why am I making this cookbook? Is it for my kids? Is it for my grandkids? What are my hopes for this cookbook? Then it makes for a really good dedication as well. The next thing is to think, when do you need to get your order placed? There's 2 things that you need to take into consideration when you are figuring out when you need to place your order. If you go to the shipping guide, you'll see here, all binding styles have a different turnaround time. They take a different amount of time to produce. And then we have a multitude of shipping options. So do the math of which binding style am I going with? If you're going with multiple, you're going to want to go with the one with the longest turnaround time, plus the shipping. What I will tell you, we're in December. It's the busiest time for us the entire year. All the things are at the latter end. So it says 3 to 5 business days. We're closer to the 5 business day mark. Right now, other than if you're in Canada, I'm so sorry. What a terrible year. The Canadian strike has, postal strike has really done you guys in. We are not doing international USPS to Canada right now. You can only do UPS. I have not seen any major delays in UPS to Canada, and I haven't seen any in the US. So right now things are trending pretty good. So that's how you get, like, when do I need to place my order by? It's also why we can't give you, this is the last day to have Christmas orders in, because it varies depending on the binding style and the ship method that you choose. But yeah, taking a second to think that through. Lastly, next, you're going to want to, okay, let's get started on the book itself. What I like to do is think of my categories of my recipes. If you have a recipe box with you, it's probably great to take a quick glance at it and see, how do you have these organized? If they're not organized, take a minute and pop them into some piles. This will just help you get things moving really quickly. I've given you some ideas here. This is what, if you took all of our database of all of the recipes, these are the top most common categories that people are using. I have also seen people organize based off holiday. So they'll have a Christmas section, a Thanksgiving section, an Easter section, 4th of July, family barbecue. Those are fun. As well as my author, which is interesting when you're doing a family cookbook. So it'll be like, here's all of Aunt Sue's recipes. Here are all of my recipes. Here are all of Nana Joe's recipes. All those things, those are cute as well. However, you can do it any way you want. But take a second to kind of jot those down. All right, the big part of getting a recipe done is getting the actual recipes into your book, getting the content written, typed, all those things. Most people expect that this should take days, if not weeks, and it doesn't have to. First thing is for you to take a moment and think, where are all of my recipes? If they're in a recipe box, that's great, because we have a service called We Type It that you can use, where you're going to grab your phone, you're going to log in. If you have an iPhone, you're going to download the app. If you have an Android, you're just going to log in through the browser and you're going to snap pictures. These are done within a few hours. Like, they are typed, they are in your recipe box. So you will have all your recipes in there ready to go. If they're on a Word document, a PDF, any of those things, you're going to use what we call import my recipes, where you're just going to upload those files. And from there, we're going to extract the recipes. It's pretty automatic for the most part. If you have one that has to be reviewed by our team, it might be because it's large, there might be some formatting issues, or be a lot of different things that might take 1 business day. But that's the fastest way to get all of your recipes into your cookbook. If you have recipes that are in your noggin, let's go ahead and get started on a cookbook. our super fast cook. Another thing to note when I'm doing this, I really love working from the recipe box. And the reason for that is when we go to build the cookbook, it makes it really, really fast. So if I have recipes that are in my noggin, I just know them. I will just pull this up and type them in. A trick, if you have recipes that you know by heart, log into your phone and use the voice to text. Just tell it what you're doing and it will type it for you. If you've ever done that, it's on your, if you have an iPhone or an Android, you have that available to you. That's another really fast way to get them in. If you have family and friends that you're working with, or they have a recipe, there's kind of two options. You can grab this shareable link and send that to them, and it gives them a form that they can send recipes to you. I will say, I've done a project. I did my mother-in-law's cookbook, and I included my sister-in-law in the project. You got to follow up with these people. You got to remind them, like, hey, I need those by today. It's just people get busy, and so friendly reminder there. So that's how to get all your recipes done very, very quickly. If you're working from a recipe box, I just finished my great grandmother's recipe box, and I did the whole thing. It had 36 recipes in it. And I had the full thing typed within 29 minutes, like start to finish. I had all the recipes, so it is possible. Next thing, this is totally optional, but I do like to think through. If you're wanting to add, you can be done. Like your cookbook, we're going to throw all these recipes in a book. We're going to add a theme, and then we're done. We're ready to order. But if you want to add those extra special touches, if you're like, it's just really important to me that I have the story of the time that Grandpa Joe burnt the turkey. That's a fun story. Think of those stories that you might want to include, because you can go in and add story pages. I like, we have given you in this guide here some prompts. And again, these are totally optional, but if you wanted to, take a moment to write those down. Lastly, photos. Most cookbooks, just to give you guys some insight, most family cookbooks don't have photos. Honestly, some people do, some people don't. But the majority, they don't. And if they do, very few actually have photos of food, because if you think about it, most people don't have photos of all the dishes they prepared. What they do have is photos of their family enjoying the food, or at the holidays, or at special celebrations. So think if there's any photos that you might want to include of grandma or Aunt Sue, or if you have a picture of everyone in the kitchen at Thanksgiving, those are really sweet to add in as well. So that would be all the content you would need for just a great cookbook. Now let me show you how you would do that quickly. So once all your recipes were typed, you would want to grab them all here in the recipe box, select all. I'm not going to do all of these because I have a very large collection of recipes. Let's do some desserts. 1, 2, 3, 5. And then let's do some appetizers. And some side dishes. Let's go with okay. Make sure we have them all grabbed. Okay, so once you've grabbed all the recipes you wanted included, you're going to say batch action, add to book. From here, I strongly suggest, if you have, most family cookbooks include about 30 recipes. If you have about 30 to 50 recipes, I strongly suggest going with one of these that have the step numbers. The reason for that is any of the layouts that include step numbers can continue on to the second page. If you have a super duper large collection of recipes, oops, we got some people. If you have a super duper large collection of recipes and you're trying to fit like 200, 300 recipes in a book, go ahead and do the 2 recipes per page. You may have to break some of them apart, but that will get you as condensed, starting off with a condensed book. But yeah, so I like to start with the step numbers, hit next, next, create book. This is going to take all of the recipes and their section dividers and insert them in the book for you. It's also going to auto create your table of content. So we'll give this just a second. All right. Oops. There we go. So my book is created. Everything is laid out. The next thing that I want to do, I want to go ahead and change the theme. I love this premium theme. I think it looks really nice. It gives it backgrounds. And if I'm in a rush, it just makes for a really nice book very quickly. And so I'm not having to worry about fonts. I'm not having to worry about the front cover. If I wanted to switch this out for a family photo, I could. But I could also just go forward with it and it looks really nice. Oh, come on, Zoom. There we go. The next thing, so now we've got our recipes in the book. I'm going to go to arrange pages. And the reason I'm going to go to arrange pages is because I don't want desserts to be the first section in my book. I want appetizers. So I'm going to drag the section divider appetizers up to the first. I'm going to hit auto arrange. And that's going to pull all of my appetizer recipes to appetizer. The next thing I want is breakfast. So I'm going to pull that up. And I'm going to hit auto arrange. And that's going to pull all the breakfast. And I would just do that until I had the book in the order that I want. The reason it's important that I do this step now is if I start going in and inserting some photo pages and some stories, it won't move those pages. And so I want to kind of have it in the organized the way I want it at the beginning. So now I have it laid out the way I would like. And now it's just going in and adding those final touches that I might want. Goodness. Sorry guys, my camera on my Zoom is being a little bit of a turkey. Okay. I'm gonna go to the table of contents. If I have a lot of recipes, I'm gonna use this 2-column layout. If I have just a handful of recipes, I like the single column. I think it fills up and looks nicer. So we got our table of contents. That dedication, the why that I was telling you guys, if I wanted to edit that, it comes with a standard dedication, but it also, you could make edits in there as well. And then this is where I'm going to come in and kind of finesse things. If I want to add photos, there's a couple places you could add them. You can add them to the section dividers. You can add them to the recipe pages. You can add them on photo pages. If I wanted a big photo here, you just come in, hit the plus button after insert photo page, and you can upload your photos here. If I had a story that I wanted, for example, I wanted to tell a story about these cinnamon rolls, 2 places I might put that. If it's a short story, I'm just going to pop it in the notes. If it's a longer story that needs more space, I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a story page right before that. And I'll fill that out, put your text, and then if you wanted to add a photo, you could, and pop that in. Once we've done that, at this point, my book is finished. I don't have anything else that I need to do to it. If I can spend as much time kind of tweaking, editing that I wanted to, but I can order this book and I'm ready to go. I'm going to hit preview and order. I'm going to select the binding styles. I'm going to take a moment now to go through those. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen because I want you guys to be able to see me big on camera and see all the different binding styles. So starting with soft cover, we have 2 options. There is the soft cover perfect bound and the soft cover wire O. The soft cover wire O, it does have an exposed spine to the, and the reason for that is so that you can lie your book all the way flat, You can even bend it over. The highly functional book in the kitchen. Really nice. It does have the spine to conceal the wire so that if it is up on a bookshelf, it just looks like a normal book. So that's the soft cover wire. Then we have the soft cover perfect bound. This is your more traditional, just soft cover book like you would find in Barnes and Nobles. The only, I think these are great for gifting. They look really pretty. They're really nice. It does not lie flat. So honestly, it's fine laid out on the counter like this. Some people like to gift it with a cookbook stand or like a wooden spoon, but that's the only difference between the soft cover perfect bound and the soft cover wire row, as well as the number of pages that it holds. The soft cover wire row can hold up to 216 pages. I used to know these all memorized in my head. And I'm gonna blame I'm 36 weeks pregnant. I'm gonna blame pregnancy that I can't remember. Okay, soft cover perfect bound can hold up to 312 pages, and the soft cover YRO can hold up to 262 pages. So that's the other thing to take into consideration. All right, for the hardcover, I'm going to start with my two favorite. I can never decide which is my all-time favorite. So my two favorites are the ringed binder and the hardback wire row. They are actually the exact same book. The difference is the internal mechanism for the wire row versus the binder. So I'm going to hold them up together so you guys can see. So you'll see there's the wire and there's the binder, but the book itself is exactly the same. They both lie down flat. They look really nice. They look really pretty on the bookshelf. So these are my two favorite. The binder, the only suggestion I say to it is you can add photos to it. If you're going to add photos to it, remove the page numbers so that you don't, if you want to go back in later and add them, it doesn't like turn things off. The other thing I would do, our table of contents, there's not a way to remove the page numbers from the table of contents. So you either make your own table of contents or just delete it. Either way, it works. But that would be the binder. I do really enjoy that. There's a third hardcover option. It's called the hardback case bound. This looks like your traditional book at Barnes and Noble. This is a really pretty coffee table book. If you're doing like a family historical piece and you're going to have it sit out like in the sitting area and lay down flat, it looks really pretty. And it can have up to, for both the ringed binder and the hardback wire row is 200 pages. For the case bound, you can have up to 260 pages. So it can be a pretty thick book. That being said, it does not lie flat, and I would not suggest laying it down and pushing it. There's a glue inside the binding, and if you lay it down and push it, you'll break the glue and the pages could fall out. But it works perfect if you have a cookbook stand or if you lay it out and put a wooden spoon over it, it's totally fine. But like I said, it looks really nice for that coffee table book if that's the aesthetic you're going for. So the next thing that you're going to select when you're at your proofing stage. Oh, come on, Zoom. There we go. All right. So the next thing you're going to select is your paper options. There are 3 paper options. There's the standard paper, which is a 70-pound unfinished paper. So it's like a matte like there's no gloss to it. There's no sheen. And it's fine. It's a good paper. We also have the premium paper. This is my favorite, especially if you have family photos in it. It's a 100-pound UV coated gloss paper. So it's shiny. It looks really nice with family photos. It's a little bit a heavier weight. So that's probably it's my favorite for gifting. There's a third option called Write in the Rain. This paper was actually created for like military and police officers, because it's like all weather paper. And I can even show you a little bit. This is the same exact paper. But it actually works really well in the kitchen because it's just as, you know, you got moisture and wetness and sauces flying. I suggest this one if you know it's going to be a heavily used cookbook in the kitchen. I use it personally because I have a 4-year-old and she is messy. And so I like it for my books. I don't gift it to my mom. She's not as messy in the kitchen as we are. I do the premium paper for her, and it looks nice. I will give a little bit of a cautionary tale to the Right in the Rain paper. It looks exactly like the standard paper, like exactly like the standard paper. And I made a little bit of a booty of myself because I ordered it, and then I called the production and I was like, "Hey guys, you guys sent me the wrong paper. How could you do this? I wanted the Right in the Rain." And they were like, "Yes, Christina, just take some water and throw it on there, and then it'll bubble up and you could just wipe it clean." And it turns out it was 100% the right paper. And it just looks so similar to standard paper. It looks and feels like paper. In my head, it was going to be more like a synthetic, but it's not. It just looks like paper, but it's water resistant. So select your paper, whatever works best for you and for your cookbook. If you want to, you can include the e-cookbook. This is $2.95 when you're purchasing a physical cookbook, or $9.95 standalone. I do enjoy them. It comes with an app on your phone that you can search the recipes as well as the ingredients. I use it a lot when I'm at the grocery store. So then from here, you're going to generate your proofs. What's super duper important when you're generating your proofs, especially if you're doing multiple binding styles, is that you review all of the covers and all of the contents because things are slightly different. And so we'll give this a second to generate. What you're looking for when you're reviewing your proof on the cover, you're looking that if you want your words to be centered, are they centered? Sometimes people like to line them up and do fun things, but if you're going for a centered, that's the X. You're also wanting where you see this purple line. This is called the bleed margin. The purple line is either where it's cut or where it's wrapped. So this book here has a wrap around it. You want some of the photo to be there, or you want some of the background color to be there because you want it to have like a full flesh finish. What you don't want in this purple is your nephew's face if you got a family photo, or words because they're going to get cut or they're going to get wrapped and it's going to look silly. Other things that you're looking for on the cover is, does my titles match? Have I changed anything or made anything look different? Am I happy with the overall aesthetic? Things like that. So that's what you're looking for on the cover. And again, you're wanting to review them for all the different bindings. So for example, this binder, you'll see I might need to come squish this over just a little bit because it's a larger file. So I need to pull the title over just a little bit. Contents, what you're looking for on contents, making sure this is the file we print from. So if you have photos, and you can print these off at home, they'll have like the watermark, making sure your photos aren't blurry, especially if it's an older photo, making sure nothing is falling off the page, making sure, this is also, to me, a great place to, if you wanted to kind of quickly review, proofread, anything like that, this would be the place that I would do it. And I like to print these out, just to grab a pen and paper and review. If there's anything that I wanted to change, all I'm going to do is hit cancel, make those changes, regenerate the proofs. If I'm happy with everything, I'm going to hit preview and order. And from here, I'm ready to order as well. You also noticed, I wish I went, oh no. I'll have to show you guys in a minute. Anyways, that would take you to order. So that is how you could get a book. So we're at minute 28. that's how you can literally finish a book in half an hour. Once you get your recipes in, you can literally start to finish. That book wasn't created 30 minutes ago. Or we could order it and it would be a great book. You don't have to do it quickly. You can take as much time as you want. Or you can be as quick of a project as you'd like. I would like to take the rest of this time and go into a Q&A, answer questions for everyone. Hopefully you guys found that to be helpful. Quick walkthrough. We'll start with Isabel, sorry, not Isabella. Hey, Isabel.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. It did not take me 30 minutes.
Everybody's different.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to stop now because I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I have a quick, I'm finishing. So
Okay.
I just want to push like the button.
Yeah.
I have a question though. I did not see where I could have my thing laid down to see the, how do you call it? The spine.
Yep, on the cover.
Yeah, I like how do you I can see the front cover, I can see the back cover, but
You're
I
not,
never.
yeah, you're not gonna see it in the designer. There's just not a way for us to put it. What you can do when you generate those proofs like we just did, was that a cover? No. When you generate those proofs, you're gonna see it. And if there's anything that you want to edit on the cover, the way to do that is,
Yeah, I know how to, I've been through that.
okay. So yeah, once you
That's
generate
fine,
those
and I
proofs,
put the
that's where
color,
you,
but it's just that where do I go? That's when I generate. I'm sorry, I'm French, so
no worries. So you're going to go to preview and order. You're going
okay.
to hit next.
Yeah,
You're going
yeah.
to select the binding file
Good.
that you're to
Yes.
purchase. And then you're going to hit next again. You're going to select the paper that you want
Yep.
next. If you want an e-cookbook, generate files. This takes a couple of minutes. You're
Mhm.
going to generate your files. And the larger your book is, the longer it takes. So don't panic if it's
Mhm.
a large book and it can take up to 5 minutes. Give this a minute to generate the files. Give it just a second.
Maybe I can ask you another question while we wait.
Sure.
Okay, I just wanna.
Actually, we're here. Let's keep
Yeah,
going
yeah.
with it. So now you see where it says review cover. You're going to click that and it's going to open.
Cover. Ah, okay. Okay. So it's written review cover. Okay.
And then you're going to want to review your contents.
Content. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now,
The other thing, I just want to point this out. If anyone wants someone on our team to review your full file, there's a option here called
yeah, I did. I did, and it was really, really helpful.
and you can have it takes about a day for us to get it back to you. We're trying really hard to get them back faster.
Yeah.
Or if you have a quick question, just reach out to support. We'll take a look. But if you want the full file reviewed,
Mhm.
I would strongly suggest that.
No, it's
Okay.
great. Like the girl did a video, so it
Yeah.
was she was
They
talking, doing the video at
yep.
the same time, so it was really easy to follow.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
My last question, I guess, was that I received an email. I just want,
Okay.
okay, and it's written, we check your proof, page 16 and 17, and there's no overflowing content because I had like a worry about that.
Right.
We did not see any page warning, so that means that you were able to fix everything, which I did. Once you are done with all the edits, you will have to generate your proofs, review the cover and pages one last round, and if all good, you can approve the proof to publish your book to your private bookstore. What does that mean?
That's this right here. This preview and order where
Yeah,
you're
but
going through generating those proofs.
okay, I just didn't know what it meant, like to your private store.
It's
I
just
thought I had to do
no,
it
no, no. Your bookstore
somewhere
is
else.
no. You're good. Once it generates this,
Okay,
you'll approve and it'll take you to checkout, which is the bookstore.
okay, good.
Of
And
course.
Okay, so do you think I can have them before Christmas if I hit the button like now?
It depends on the binding style, and you're in Quebec.
I have um the
You're gonna
hard.
have to go UPS.
I
Um,
have the hold on. I have the wire O soft cover.
soft cover wire 5 business days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That would ship out next Wednesday, which is the
18th.
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 So yeah, you would need to go with uh
I'll
it
go with
would-
anything.
yeah, you would need to go with the one of the faster ship methods. Like I said, right now you have to go with UPS because you're in Canada and you guys have the strike going on.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any major, knock on wood, I have not seen any major delays with UPS, but I realize all the orders that would normally go USPS are probably pushing through UPS. So
So
I
I
would
go
and
UPS ground?
that would be getting it tight.
No, which one do I do?
Mhm.
I would either do second day or I would probably go with UPS second day if it was me.
Oh, there's a UPS second day. I didn't see it.
There's a next day,
No.
but honestly, that could be kind of
Can the
pricey.
rest of us get a question in?
Yep, we will get that.
Okay.
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 All right.
So well, thank you. I hope I have it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Isabel. All right, John. Nope, John, you're
Hey,
muted.
there I'm at. Okay, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So I have a few quick questions.
Okay.
My book is about 265 pages.
Okay.
I do wire out.
You can't do the wire O. And the reason for it is it's not gonna fit. You're not gonna be able to turn the pages. You're gonna have to go with the perfect bound on that one, the soft cover perfect bound. Unless you could get down the 5 pages, you could go with the hardback case bound.
So, hardback case bound. I want it for somebody's gonna lay it in their counter and cook with it. So,
If if you have a large collection like that, one thing you could do is you could split the book in half, like savory and sweet. And then you would have like 2 wire-os and they would have like 100 and some odd pages each. And you could do the wire-o that way,
so what's the limit on the wire? Oh,
200 pages.
oh boy.
I know, but duplicate your book. The easiest way, if you want to do the volumes, which a lot of people do, duplicate the book, delete the last half from the first one and the first half from the second one, so you're not having to redo work. Does that make sense?
So 2 years of Christmas gifts, that works fine.
There you go.
All right. So, and then my other questions were, I'm using the Chelsea font. It's kind of, it's nice, but the books I'm looking at are very fancy, and the cookbooks I look at that I have, they're pretty standard fonts and letters. What do you recommend?
You're going with Chelsea right now?
Yeah, but
It's not your favorite? Okay, let's take a look.
well, I was reading somewhere that kind of font and stuff is kind of cool, but
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
yeah.
this Miss Maddie is a really pretty font that's very popular.
What is it?
Miss Maddie.
Miss Maddie.
I
Okay.
really like that one. And then there's another one, it's kind of fun, called, oh, what is it called? Um, it's not Chelsea, that's what you just said. It's cream soda, and it can be kind of a fun font. It's easier to read. But those are two, a little bit more fun of a font, if you will. To me, everything looks really nice. I like to go with a fun font on the headline or like the header, and then I like to use a really simple, more traditional font inside the book. The one that
Yeah,
just
what are those?
the one that just goes, there's 3 options that go really well with any of the fancier fonts. That's going to be your traditional, Times New Roman, everyone can read that. It's clean. The Montserrat is very clean, easy to read, and opens Montserrat right here. Montserrat. Very easy to read and open sans. Those three you cannot go wrong with for like your directions and your step numbers. And then I like to pick a fun font for like the heading.
Okay, and then, the size that you
What's
have, the size letters? Cause I'm.
Oh, okay. So this is a good question. If you can read a newspaper comfortably, that is a size 10 font.
Yeah, no,
If you have to bust out the reading glasses for the newspaper, and I used to laugh because I didn't have to wear reading glasses, but now I do. You're gonna want a 12 or a 14.
okay, for the standard
yeah.
letters, and then the
For
header,
for the header, I like to go 20 or 22. That's just a personal opinion. Doesn't have to be done, but that's just what I think looks the nicest for the header. And then what I like to do is for my notes and for my footer, which is like the yields or has the person's name, I like to just go with the 10. I'm honestly not really reading that part. I just need to see the ingredients in the kitchen. But yeah, so I'll repeat that. At least a 10, never go below a 10.
okay,
Uh, if
and
you a 12 or 14 is best if you have the space. For the header, a 20 or 22.
then are you using bolds for the, directions and the numbers?
I like to use bold for the ingredients. I don't use it for anything else.
You bold for the ingredients?
I do. I just think it looks nicer. They're a little bit darker, and then I put the ingredients.
Okay, and that would be for the, numbers as well.
At honestly, most of the time, if I'm being completely honest, I like to hide the numbers. I don't always. It's a personal preference. I like the break, but I don't particularly want the number, so I'll hide them. If I am gonna have them, I do like them to be bold.
Okay. And then, sorry for asking so many questions, but I've been writing them down for a week.
Yeah. No.
So let's see, what is the other ones? Okay, so my whole book is in a font and a number style or letter style that I don't want now.
Okay.
I know when you go to, you said to override single page and you can check it out and see what it looks like.
So, excuse me. For the most part, you should be working in all pages. The reason for that is that's going to save you a lot of time and energy because it'll update the whole book for those pages. The only time you should be using a page override is in those situations where you're like, I'm just trying to squeeze just a little bit more on this page and I want to drop this font by one, but only for this page. Would be the only time I would suggest using a page override.
Okay.
For the rest of it, I would always, always, always use all pages book default. Because you can come back and switch it. Like it can pop between the different fonts and update it and come back and switch it. It'll update for the whole book. But I really strongly suggest using all pages when you're doing the designing.
Yeah, because I wanted to change one page and just look and see how it appears on the
And you
book,
could do this page only, but then remember you've got to go back and do the rest of the book.
and then just go back and change for everything. So I was like, my layout with pictures and all that kind of stuff.
It's not gonna change your layouts. No, it's just gonna change like the title fonts, the ingredient fonts, things like that.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.
Good to see you again, John. All right, Mika, I see you've sent me your email. Is it okay if I log into your account before I share my screen and
Yeah,
share?
you can, but it's a really large file, which is why I have a question.
Okay.
So it's currently 505 pages,
Whoa.
which means
You're
is
gonna
that
have
divided by 2 or is that mean total pages?
That's total pages.
Total pages. Okay, so I'm
Okay.
basically doing my entire mom's recipe.
Yeah. My suggestion, finish this book. Like, don't do anything yet.
Okay,
Go through and finish the book. Once you're done with the book and you're like, I'm happy, this is what I want to go with. You're going to, I'll show you.
make a copy.
You're going to duplicate it. And then,
Okay,
like I
yeah.
mentioned to John,
Yeah.
this one, you're going to delete the second half. And then the second one that you duplicate, you're going to delete the first half.
Okay.
And you want to put like on the spine or on the title, volume 1, volume 2, savory sweet, however you want to indicate that this is book 1.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
The other question I had is there any way you can include in the chat a link to that get started document?
Let me do that now. It'll also be in the replay, but let me send you that link so that everybody has it.
And then if my project is still loading, it did have some kind of question about the cover photo being not, I guess, big enough, and I'm not curious what the amount needs to be, the DPI.
Let me see if it pulled up. It's still loading. This is
I
a very
know.
big book. It's okay. We'll give it a second. These are all good questions and they help everybody. DPI means dots per inch. And so when you have really high resolution images have a lot of dots per inches, they make for really big files.
Okay.
Lower DPI, like if when we're dealing with older photos, like cameras just weren't as advanced, so they may have lower DPI. There's nothing we can do about it. We can't go back in time and change that. The suggestion is if you have a copy of that image that's a higher DPI, let's upload that and use it. If you don't, you need to level set expectation that it's going to be a little bit of a grainier photo. There's some tricks that I can tell you to use it and make it smaller and still look nice. If it's like, I get it, like this is Grandma Clements, this is the only photo we have of her, we have to use it, there's no other options. There's a couple of tricks I can share that will help. But if I was just like, I'm going to use it, you can just print is what I'm getting at. So for this, oh, this is really pretty.
So that's
Yeah,
a
put it on.
watercolor painting, and I could actually probably rescan it and make it bigger.
Yeah, so you want it to be closer to 300.
300,
Rescan.
okay.
Yeah. I'm also getting a little bit nervous. We're really close with this.
Okay.
Here, my suggestion would be move it up just a smidge.
Okay.
And I would actually, I don't know how I can tell you the color.
Yeah, that's to wrap it around.
Well, my thought would be if we can get the color from that,
Oh, from Canva. This is news to me.
it's okay. It's a trick that you probably honestly don't, I learned it from a designer on our team.
That's awesome.
I don't even know. I'm not a designer by trade or by any means. I just learned this as a little trick. So you grab that color and then we're gonna come in and do the background color. And we're gonna put that in there. And this way, if you could, like if it's at the bottom just a smidge, it's kind of faking it, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And you could do that.
Is this the same place that I would do the spine text?
Yeah, do you want me to put that in there too?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's I'm
I
gonna
just
say
didn't realize, and I don't have anything on the back, I don't think.
yeah, I would do that same color then. Let me just pop
just
that
wrap it
on
around.
for you. Yep.
Okay, so I'll see if I can find another, or I can rescan it to make it a better quality.
Try to rescan it. It's such a beautiful picture. You don't want it
Yeah.
to be blurry. So,
Okay, and so then go ahead and complete my book, and then I'll end up just doing I'll split it into 2 books.
uh-huh.
And then I think the only other question, will you guys do more coupon codes?
I think they have some planned. They don't announce them ahead of time.
Okay.
So yeah.
But I've made a lot of progress because each
Good. Yeah, it looks good.
pages have it's a typed out recipe, but then it's my mom's actual recipe
Oh
card.
my gosh, it's beautiful. I love books like this. You've done a really stunning job. While I'm here looking, is it okay if I point something out to you?
Please.
Okay, so do you see here how we have half of your number
Yes,
covered up?
the numbers. I know I'm gonna need to check all those.
Yeah, I would bring that in just there's two things. You can either hit fill image, and this is going to cover it up completely, so you just don't
Right.
have it, which is fine, or just make it a little bit smaller. But what I don't like is when you have half and half, because then it just
Yeah.
doesn't quite look as nice. So take a look at that. But I mean, I think this is a really beautiful book. You've done a really good job.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for your help. I appreciate it.
Of course, thanks for letting us share. It's always nice to see
Absolutely.
other people's books. All right, Miss Brenda, how are you? Guys, don't panic. I know we're coming up on
Hi,
the hour.
how are
I'm
you?
gonna get through you guys. We're gonna get through the questions.
We are almost to the last of the stack of my recipes finally. When you were telling us to print out, a sample, how it's gonna look,
Yeah.
is there a way to pick the size, or is it gonna print small, or how's it gonna print? Because I only want to print all these pages once.
Yeah. It really depends on your printer. I can show you, I can print one and show you really quickly, what it will look like. But it should print just like a normal page. It just like one per
Okay.
page.
I
It should-
wasn't sure how, I didn't catch that when you had talked about it a few classes back, and I wanted to make sure before I went to print about 200 pages.
Yeah, I know that makes sense. It's honestly, I think our last class, I think my camera stopped working because I tried to do it last time. But yeah, it should just print normal, like on one page per book, unless you have some weird printing settings. I don't know.
I
But it
have,
print one page per like a PDF, and you should be
okay.
good. But yeah.
And when we're doing, while you're looking for that, I'll ask you another question. Where, is there a search bar anywhere to pull up a certain recipe or not?
So
And
what you can do is if you're
looking,
looking for that, yeah, you can go into, there's a couple tricks, and let me pull it up and I'm going to show you how that generates. Okay, so if you're trying to find a recipe in your account, you can go to your recipe box and you can filter by category. You can search the recipe here and like start typing. You can search by contributor, in the book or out of the book. If you're in your book that you're trying to find it, you can click change pages. You can use the Command F, the find tool, and you could type like never fell, and now I can see it's highlighted, never fell peanut butter. I can double click that and it'll take me straight to that page.
Okay.
Here's my contents. I'm just gonna I'm only gonna print the first page just so you guys can see. I don't want it making a bunch of noise, but so I can just print it at home. If I just want to print the first page, let's make sure it's my computer. Give that a second. Okay, any more questions, Brenda, while that prints?
Yes. Is there anywhere that shows like a sample sheet of when you arrange stuff? Like, you put appetizers first, but for some odd categories that I have, like the gluten-free, and I have canning recipes, and feed a crowd, and um the tips, hints, and tricks section.
Mm-hmm.
Is
You should be able
there?
to see all in your arranged pages.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, because I got also a question, is there a
Mhm.
place that they recommend that you put like cheat sheets and conversions on it, or would that be in?
Yeah, if you want to add that, we have a conversion sheet that you can add. I like to put them at the front of the book. Some people like them at the back of the book. I think feel like they belong right after the table of contents. And if you just go to extra pages, you'll see that we have the conversions page that you can add.
Okay,
If you had your own that you wanted to upload, you would just upload them as a photo page and
Okay.
upload the image. Some people like to do extra pages at the back of their book, which is always nice. You can just come in and add them at the back, extra pages, and we have this blank page. Another little trick is if you wanted to add a bunch to the back of your book, you can come more, add write-in pages, how many, sometimes like 10 is nice. And it'll just
Okay.
end up at the back of your book if you wanted those.
Okay, awesome. And for when you said last time that you can order like a printed book to preview,
Mhm.
how do you do that? And is it like what the regular cookbook would cost?
Yeah, it's the same price. You just come in and generate your files like we've been talking about and approve, and then you order just one copy. Once your book comes in, if you have any issues, if there's anything that like you're like, oh man, I misspelled someone's name, or I actually want to change the cover, whatever you might see in print and that you want to change, you can come in and make those edits. Important step is that you always regenerate the proofs and approve them before reordering more.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so is there a sheet anywhere that does like a sample sheet of how you should arrange stuff, where things should be put? Like all
No,
that?
no, there's not. And it's really a matter of preference. I can tell you what I've seen most people do. Most people go in order of like think through appetizers, breakfast, on like think through the day of how you would eat the food. That's how 90% of people arrange their book. I don't know if John's still here because I'm about to pick on him a little bit. I don't know why every time that there's a man, they put it in alphabetical order every time. It just cracks me up because I can open a book and if it's like appetizers, beverages, cookies, I'm like, oh my gosh, a man has designed this book. So I don't know what it is, but women, we all like just typically doing this for over 6 years. All women kind of go through the day, go their courses, and that's how they arrange it. All men put that thing in alphabetical order. So it's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if there was like a rule of thumb for the oddball categories or not.
I'm a woman, so I like to put those in like right before desserts, right after appetite, right after main dishes. But I feel like if my husband was in charge, he'd put them in alphabetical order. So
Okay.
anyways, here's a copy. I just printed out a page, so it prints just
Okay.
on a regular sheet of paper.
Awesome.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I've
awesome.
had a time and a half with on some of my recipes asking our little AI what a certain category of food's under because you get some of those weird things like, do you consider cheesecake a cake or a dessert or,
It's a hot dog, a sandwich. I know it can. It's a matter of
and
preference.
like
It's
with
about how
my
you're feeling.
mom, my mom would be over 100 if she was still here. And she has recipes of back in their day, how you made like your own sweetened condensed milk and made your own stuff that you didn't go to the store and buy a can. There was no such thing then. They just made it at
And
home.
that's
And hey, what's that go under?
yeah, it's interesting because as we see recipes age and date, even container sizes change.
Oh
Like a
yeah.
can of tomatoes from a 1950s recipe is not the same as a can of tomatoes now. And so you do there is a little bit of finesse, if you will, to the recipes sometimes.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, I know I'm gonna keep going because we've got quite a few more people. Is there anything else I can help you with, Brenda?
Yep, that was it. Thank you so much.
You're here. All right, Miss Sherry.
Hi, well, this
Hi.
has been very helpful. Where I am
Hi.
is I've sent one version of my cookbook out for review and gotten very helpful feedback. It's
Good.
205 pages, so I'm planning to use the soft wire
Okay.
binding. What I don't know about is putting in pictures. The person who did the review suggested that I add some photographs, and
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure how to do it. And the other question is that it doesn't, to my way of thinking, make any sense to put in pictures in black and white. And what does it do to the cost of the cookbook to put in color pictures?
Color picture and black and white pictures are exactly the same.
Oh,
The reason
okay,
for it is
okay.
it uses even black and white photos actually use a different kind of black ink, and so it costs the
Okay.
same as a color page. That being said, I can show you how to upload a photo.
That would be great, because I think you explained it earlier and I kind of missed it.
No, that's okay. Let me walk you through. There's a couple different places you can upload photos on, like your dedication. So you just come here and you select zoom. Sorry, cats. Select your layout, and you just pick one that has a photo, and then you have this photo tab, and from here you can add a photo from your computer. And you say choose file. This is going to open up your computer. I don't know if you guys can see that. Actually, you might not be able to. Hang on. Sorry, I want you to be able to see the full experience. I've got to share my full screen. Can you see this? My thing. Okay. So from here, you select the photo, open, and then it should be on that page. If you need to like zoom in or zoom out, anything like that, you can do
Great.
that here.
Okay. She suggested, the person who did the review suggested putting pictures on the section dividers, breads,
Yeah.
beef,
And
whatever.
I like to on the section dividers. I think it's fun to use stock photos. I like to
Oh,
use stock
okay.
photos of ingredients and not necessarily a recipe, because the stock photo might not look like my recipe.
Mhm.
But ingredients look like ingredients. If it's baking and it's flour, like all flour looks the same. And so I will search for like different ingredient terms. So if I was doing desserts, whoops, I hit the wrong button. I would go with something like this. Like that would make a really pretty section divider.
That's good.
Just so you know, as far as the pricing goes, it says $1.50. It's a one-time fee of $1.50 when you go to checkout. It's not $1.50 for the per book. So it's just a
Okay.
one fee. And there's free ones in there, and there's also the $1.50. They're actually done through Getty, so it's just something we pass along. But it's just a one-time fee.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you so much.
Of course, I'm glad you're here. All right, we're gonna keep going. Diane. Oops, can you hear me, Diane? I think you're still muted. Bottom left-hand corner.
I'm coming, sorry.
No rush. I'll throw you in the spot and then I fuss at you.
So I'm using lots of photos, and my question actually is the same as Sonia's that she put in the chat. Can a story page be used to add step-by-step photos? And can you also go real quickly through how you insert a story page?
So what I would do for step-by-step photos, I actually wouldn't use a story page.
Okay.
My suggestion would be a photo page.
Okay.
And I would put this 2-step, and I would use the one with captions. I could do like picture 1 if that was step 1, picture 2, and I could put a little description of what that picture was doing.
Okay, can you go back to, I'm trying to find out where this is, the page that you're working off of, second photo, first photo,
Right
like where do
here.
I go to find that?
I go to the book where I want to add a photo, and I hit the
Okay.
plus. And I either want to add it before this page or after this page.
Insert page, okay.
And then I'm going to say insert
Okay,
page,
okay.
and then all the layouts are going to pop up. And you could do like 2, like, if I had 4 photos for like making bread, I might have 4 photos. But I would do the 2 with captions and, excuse me, I would just insert 2.
Okay. All right, I think that answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah. Glad to help. All right, we'll keep going. All right, Miss Julie.
Okay, I had a couple questions for you. First of all, if I was going to be finishing the book tomorrow, Friday, what would be the best binding to use to get it by Christmas? And that even possible?
It is possible. Where are you shipping to? Are you
Missouri.
in the United States?
Yes, Missouri.
Fantastic. My suggestion. It's always makes me so nervous because I do this and then someone's like, you ruined Christmas because the shipping gets delayed. So I'm always
Right.
very nervous. I'm gonna do it for you, I promise. I just I don't want to. So the binding styles, I feel like they're printing and shipping pretty on time. We are at the latter side. So if you're finishing tomorrow, I'm gonna pull up the calendar. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and get rid of everybody's calendar. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so this would be day 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no. Okay. Thursday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would ship by the 19th. That's a business day. 1, 2. I would go with the soft cover or the perfect bound. And I would go with, if you're just at, like, if you need guaranteed that it's here, I would go with the UPS second, and you would be fine with either of the soft covers. If you have flexibility, I would go with any of the binding styles, and I would go with UPS, any of the UPS options. And I would get the e-cookbook. So just in case UPS is slow or USPS doesn't deliver, you have something to give everybody on Christmas, and then the book could arrive a day or so after Christmas. That would be my suggestion. So it really matters how important it is that your physical book is there. If that's like super important to you, I would go soft cover, second day air. If you're like, I just want them to have the book, I would purchase it, whichever one you wanted, and I would add the e-cookbook so you could print that out, because you can print out the code to gift them and say, hey, look, the going to be here Monday. So it's a matter of preference.
Thank you.
Of
And then
course.
for this, I know I should probably know this. This is a stupid question, but if I were wanting to do photos of food, can I just grab a photo, like just this, take a picture of a picture, an image on, just Google or whatever? Can I use those? Because that's what I did, but I don't know if that's, if that's
Really?
illegal or whatever.
Yeah, when you're uploading a photo to us, you're saying I have the rights to this photo. When you take it from Google, you don't know what rights you have. What you can do is, like I said, we have those stock photos, and there are some free ones, as well as some paid. You can come into here and go stock photos, and you can search. There's a lot of different things. Chicken. And you should have lots of options. These we have rights to, like we have contracts with the people who provide these images. So you can print those, like there's no copyright. There's going to be a spot in the back of the book called the publisher's page. And on the publisher's page, you're going to have this one right here. It's going to have called the credit.
Okay, sounds good.
Stop sharing.
All
But
right.
yeah, it's just giving the credit to the person who did that photo.
Sure. That makes sense. So yeah, thanks for clarifying that. And then when you do those, the divider pages, how do you get the pictures to fill the whole page? Is that something that, automatically, because when I was putting the pictures in there, they weren't filling the whole page. They were just kind of this little square on the bottom.
Yeah, let me show you how to do that. So what you want to do, and I like that layout the best. That's my favorite. Hit the edit icon on the section divider, go to layout and you'll see there's two. There's the one with the square on the bottom and there's this full one. You're going to
Okay.
want to select the full one design. I like to use, oh man, I did that. We're trying to rush. What did I get? I like to use, what is going on? I like to grab the image and say fill image, and that's going to fill it in the whole section that it can. It just makes it easier.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Thank you. So, okay, are there multiple book discounts?
Yeah, anytime you go over, I know we have a promotion right now, which is if you order 5 or more hardback case bounds, you get 15% off. There's also, this is always, forever and always, anytime you go over 20 books, you get quantity discounts. Because basically we get, it's just more cost effective when we're printing larger batches. So we do pass along quantity discounts. The easiest way to get to see exactly what it's going to be is to use this pricing calculator. But yes, at 20 books, there starts to be quantity discounts. All standard pricing of our books includes up to 50 pages. It does not matter if they're white, black and white, or color. The only time it starts to matter is when you hit 51, because then we start charging per page and it's per black and white or per color page. But yeah, using this calculator is the best way to get the pricing of your book. And you can select the paper. The premium is an extra 10 cents per page, and the Write in the Rain is an extra 20 cents per page. But yeah, hopefully.
So let's just say like I had like 70 pages, then I'm going to have a extra $20. And then I also pay for the photos. Is that true?
The photos are a one-time fee. It'll be separate on when you check out. So you'll have, the price per book, and then
Okay.
you'll have like 10 premium images. And once you pay for that, you've paid for it. Even if you come back and reorder books, you're not going to pay those images again. You've already
Okay.
paid to use them.
And so that, and what is that cost per one premium image? Just.
All the premium images are $1.50 each.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sounds good. And one last question, do you recommend using the same layout for every page just to make it flow?
No, I don't. And the reason for that is, you really should pick the layout to the recipe and not make the recipe fit to the layout, because some recipes have just 3 or 4 ingredients and they have really long steps. And some recipes have 50 ingredients and it just says mix all the ingredients together and serve. So picking out the layout that looks nicest with the recipe is best.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. That was helpful.
Of course. All right, guys. Any other last minute questions? I'm gonna go pop through the chat really quick. And then if we have any last minute questions, I'll be happy to take them. Mika, we answered your question. Brenda, did you have a question? You sent me your email, so I wasn't sure if you had a question.
I had sent that earlier. My question was, you just said that you get 50 pages with a book.
Yes, in standard pricing, like all the books, like the $19.95 for the softcover Wiro includes 50 pages.
Okay, so if I want some standard and I have 200 pages, do I put in 200 pages or 150?
Oh, 200. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it would automatically calculate
No.
the 3 pages out of there. Or
Yeah.
okay.
It just calculates. What I'm saying is it doesn't change. Sometimes people will be like, it's not changing. And if it's between 1 and 50, it's not going to change. It's the same price.
Okay, but if it was 200, I still put 200 even though I get 50, that's free.
It's going to calculate based on 200.
Okay.
You want 200. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry
Thank
to
you.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
okay. Just making sure.
No, I get it. All right. Bonnie asked, can you show us We Type It, where it goes, and how to get it to the recipe box? Yes, that's a great question. So there's a couple ways to go to We Type It. If you're on your computer, you can come to your recipe box, add a recipe, do We Type It. You can upload the file I'm just gonna grab one, I think here. And you're gonna open it. You're gonna type the name of the recipe. And then you're gonna assign the category to it. If there was a backside of it, you could select the back, upload the file for it as well. I don't actually have a back to this recipe. Goodness. Sorry guys, it's my camera with all your faces, which I love seeing because it makes me know that we're talking about the right things, but it keeps being a turkey. And there we go. Okay. And then from here, you're gonna just submit it to typing, and it should take less than a business hour to be typed. If you are working from a phone, if you have an iPhone, I strongly suggest, and I'm gonna hold this up and open so that everybody can see it and can, if you have your phone, go ahead and grab it because I'm gonna pull up a QR code. There's a We Type It app. It's free to download. You do have to have credits, but scan that if you have an iPhone. We don't have one for Android. We're working on it. Scan this and it's going to let you use your phone camera to take pictures of the recipes. And so that just takes out a step because if not, you would be taking pictures and then uploading it to your computer. If you have an Android and you want to use your phone or you don't want to download the app, you can just go to the browser on your phone, log into your account, and it will let you use your camera too. And it's just way, way faster.
Christine, I have a quick question. So you referred earlier to someone who will review the book.
Mhm.
Does it have to be in its final stage for them to do that and make recommendations?
You could have it, you could send it to them right now. Just generate those files. You do have to generate the files.
How do I get that to them, and how do I know who it's going to? And
Yeah. So what you'll do is you will come into your book. And it doesn't matter. Like if you were still working on it, you're going to generate those files like we showed earlier. Oop. It's important that you generate the files, and you can generate if you're thinking like I'm thinking hardback wire and I'm thinking
Right.
the cover. It doesn't mean you have to order it, but if you're thinking about it, generate those
Mhm.
files so that they take a look.
Okay.
And then you're going to let those files generate. This will take a minute, and then you're going to see a little thing that pops up right here, and it says, "Hey, you want us to look at it?" You click that button, and that's where you can go to checkout. It's $9.95 for the first. Gosh, guys, my brain, where has it gone? I want to say it's $9.95 for the first 20 pages, and then it's 10 cents a page.
Okay.
I cannot remember to save my life right this
No,
second.
that's okay. Just to have a window, an estimate is fine.
Yeah,
It's
so this
not that
one
big
right
a
here would
book.
be
It's pretty small.
right. Yeah, so
Um,
this one would be 11.45. I'm gonna hit learn more, and then from here I can purchase that.
Great.
And
Now,
it says
ahead.
2 business days. We try really, 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 really hard to get it done within a business day.
Okay.
Very
The
seldom.
typing, we type it, comes back, and I swear a bot must be doing it because it's almost instantaneous. By the time
We've
I go on to the next recipe, I've already gotten a response back saying it's been typed.
we've gotten really good with We Type It. It used to take several days.
Wow, they're
And
superstars who's ever actually people that are doing this. My second question is, if I change the format of one recipe, because I see they're running off the page,
yep,
will it just be that recipe that changes?
it will. If you see things running off the recipe, my suggestion for that is to switch to a step number page, because then you can continue the recipe on to the next page.
And that's what I have. And it's still going to
Yeah.
the next
So
page, but then there's only 2 steps on a blank page.
Mhm.
So I probably need to try different formats for that
Maybe the
particular
long
recipe.
Yeah, maybe go with the long recipe for that, and
Okay,
it'll condense it up to a paragraph.
great. Okay, that sounds like I prefer that. Now, the other question is, I have instructions on notes and they're at the top of the recipe. Can I move that to the bottom?
We can't.
No, it has to be there.
It does. Yeah,
Okay.
move the different sections around. I know.
All right. I just thought I'd ask. And then my last question is, this is for, a Army
Okay.
Green Beret. So I
Fine.
want a template that's somewhat masculine and not too pretty. Can I try
Right.
out this book with different templates?